Traders, Anthony here looking at Bitcoin. Okay, we have this move. Now, if you go through the videos that I've posted in here in TradingView, you'll see this Bitcoin video. And in this video, we talked about this price movement that I was waiting for. And this has played out. What this was about was this had rallied and it was overextended. And what I wanted to see was a pullback and looking for the move back down, the range, the volatility, and hopefully another bullish move, but that remains to be seen. I'm just going to remove all these drawings here, and there's just a couple of things to note. See these lows over here? So the liquidity under these lows has been taken out. We've got a liquidity pool under here, obviously. Sell stops resting under here. Let me just grab this liquidity. Okay, so it's traded down into it. That's been hit. Let's just go out and get our bearings, and I'll share with you my strategy, how I get involved with this. So we've got this double top thing at the moment setting up here. A double top generally will signify that there's a potential reversal to come. Now, we don't know whether this is going to result in something like that. And then they go for these lows over here. There's also an imbalance under here. This is a daily chart, right? This is the higher time frame. At some stage, the market will most likely look to rebalance. And, you know, this thing can move. It moves in mysterious ways, right? I mean, look at this, for example. Look how far down it traded and then what happened, right? So don't underestimate how far this thing can move back, I guess is what I'm saying. There's two ways to approach this. One, you're an investor and you're dollar cost averaging in. I can tell you now, I've already loaded up down in here. And if this happens to, let me just grab my pencil. If this happens to do this, I'll sit on it. And it's a bit of a roller coaster ride, but that's the name of the game with this at the moment. I mean, it's always been pretty volatile. So where does this go from here? In a bullish trend, and this is bullish, okay, so we've got this break of structure. I'm always looking for a Fibonacci retrace, or at least into the 50%. And this is actually traded into the zone, a potential buy zone. Can it roll over and trade south? Of course it can, but let's just go down the time frame and I'll give you a couple of scenarios here. Now, this has taken out these lows under here. So be careful, because what we've got here now is a break of this market structure bearish. The thing with this, though, is it's overextended, and it makes more sense to me that given they've taken out this liquidity, that we see it rally. It could hit resistance up here and possibly more downside, but at this level, given that it's traded into this, I'll be looking for a bullish move more than anything. So on the 4-hour time frame, we have this thin candle bearish imbalance that is absolutely a target for this to trade back through. All right, it's hit big liquidity. You can see the reaction off that. So I'm hoping that this is enough here for bigger players to pair their orders and move this market further north. And the other thing too, like if you have a look at how the market trends, quite often you're going to see a trend forming like this, higher highs, higher lows, and then at some stage, let's just do it here, it'll come back down and hit the lows under and continue up. Okay, so it hits these lows, and that's this move here. Okay, if you go back through charts, any chart really, you'll see this kind of price action and this kind of movement here playing out time and time again in a trend. I'm thinking that could be the thing with this. So from here, okay, we know we've got an imbalance. We know it's traded into a big support zone. We do have this break below. This is what I'm going to be looking for here. Let's just go down now to a lower time frame. Go down to a 30-minute. This is currently ranging, and honestly, it's not difficult to trade this. Here's a strategy for you, okay? It's ranging. We are in a bullish market on the higher time frame. You go out to the weekly, and this is bullish. The daily, it's bullish, even though we do have this break of structure bearish here at the moment. We've got this gap or void, I should say, this liquidity void all through here that is inviting price to trade back through. There's two things about this. One, it's an imbalance that the market will seek to rebalance, of course, at some stage. But the other thing about this is there's a ton of liquidity resting all through here as well in the form of buy stops. So we have this market starting to short, sellers jumping in, and more sellers jumping in. People chase price, stop losses resting up in here as an imbalance, and we have liquidity. A combination is begging this to trade back up into it, in my opinion. Now, the markets are definitely manipulated. Can this wiggle around in here, spike up a little bit and then head further south? Yes, it can. But the way to get involved with this is simply to watch it on, the 30-minute time frame actually is quite a good time frame. You want to be looking for where price takes out liquidity under previous lows like this and look for a bullish reaction. In other words, even go down to a 15-minute time frame, and this is what I'm going to be looking for. Market up, you've got a range, prices traded down into it, and for me to buy, I want to see, what's happening here, this is building liquidity above and below. You're going to find there's a ton of traders buying and selling. So we've got stops going in both sides of this range, right? This is going to, at some stage, break out of the range and it'll hit the liquidity above. And I'm thinking if it's bullish, watch for this kind of movement where they entice buyers in, building more liquidity under here, and then they hit those stops. And then we see it start to trend. Higher highs, higher lows. That's my cue to get involved with this. So I'm going to be looking for this price action to play out exactly like this. And then you want to see displacement to the upside. In other words, see these thin candles. You want to see an imbalance trading up through here. You want to see the pullback down into the high. And there's going to be a couple of things that happen. One will be this potential fake out. We'll just call it a shift in structure here, change of character, right? The next one will be a break of market structure. So I'm going to be looking for an entry point on the break of structure, bullish, if we see this push off with a vengeance. And then entry point will be break of structure, pullback retest of the high, something like that. But you want to be careful because here's the thing, if this pushes off and we see a thin candle like under here, we could see quite a deep pullback into it, looking to rebalance. I hope that makes sense, guys. Okay, this could be an imbalance. It trades back into it, and then we move on. But look for the break and retest of the high of the range. I think that's probably an easier way to kind of get your head around that. But it's just a matter of watching it on the lower time frame and waiting for the rotation, seeing it move, and then when it starts trending up, then I'll be getting involved with that. Especially when you see it taking out stops under this range over here like that. Okay, so that's a potential buy opportunity. And look, simply watch it. I mean, if the trend shapes up differently, it'll either shape up bullish, or the opposite will happen, and it'll trade south. Then we look for, again, it's just the same thing, the retest and fail of the range, and then we can get short. But I'm reluctant to get short given that the higher time frame is bullish and we have these imbalances up through here. Okay, so I mean, if it does sell, I'd probably load up again, if it tanks. But I'm investing, right? So I'm not using stop losses. I'm going in. It's just spot trading. I'm dollar cost averaging, and I'll buy up at any opportunity this thing pulls back, and I'll hold it. Now I've actually got Bitcoin from, where was it? Up around here. I bought up around in here somewhere, and then I'm loading up down in here as well. I'm just gonna, I'm in for the long haul, guys. I'll sit this one out and let it do its thing. Just to wrap up, wherever this price action shapes up, could be here. If it travels south, have a look left, and there's a level, right? If it continues south, then look for the setup in here or in here. Just depends wherever it decides to turn around and trade north on a 15 or a 30 minute. Okay, with that, I hope you have a great day. Safe trading, and we'll see you in the next one.